was about understanding competition. Understand your competition. A lot of folks said, look, international brand equity will carry it. Actually, Kofi and I, we have the highest respect for each other. I look at Chicken Republic quite a bit, right? Because Chicken Republic has been here, is the largest brand, QSR brand in Nigeria. We must learn, understand your competition, and we did that. Then it was about strengthening local partnerships, not come in and not have a local partnership. So we were at an advantageous position because we have a global partner who's also locally available. And then the last piece for us was about telling a consistent story. We didn't want to be anyone else. Burger King wanted to be Burger King. A lot of people told us, you should start jollof rice and amala and stuff, right? Great. Is very local, but Burger King was about flame grilling burgers. It is about barbecued burgers, and that's exactly what we stood by. But we added like sides. We had potato cubes and yam fries, and that complemented. But we spoke to the Nigerians, but through our Burger King brand. Challenges. Look, don't get me wrong when I say this. I thought Nigeria is one market that actually defies logic when it comes to QSR. I've worked in 5 different continents, Africa being the 5th. And every market that I've been in, been associated with, I've seen normal general trends. And I've seen Nigeria to actually defy that. Breakfast for Burger King is the biggest segment around the world. But in Nigeria, we are challenged to actually change the behavior. I haven't still given up. I am going to change the way Nigerians eat breakfast, okay? Because we have a great egg burger. We will do that. We will continue to work on this because there is a lot to work on. The second piece is like locations. Certain locations where in the rest of the world it works, but in Nigeria, it didn't. I'll give you an example. MMA 2. Globally, anywhere you put a restaurant in an airport, domestic or otherwise, that's your #1 restaurant. But in Nigeria, it's the exact opposite. And this is how I saw it, and there is a lot of work for us to do. The lessons we've learned is incredible. I'm telling you, with over 200 million population, there is so much work that is still to be done. We've been here only for a little over 3 years, going on the 4th year. I'm telling you, we are here to stay.
We talk about scaling a lot and scaling businesses, but scaling is actually a very complex topic with a lot of nuance, right? It's beyond just opening a few new stores. It's about thinking about the right strategy that will be sustainable for actually, growing your business, right? So, Kofi, with over 300 stores in Nigeria and Ghana, what is your take on scaling, right? Is scaling always a good idea? Should every small brand aim to scale? Or is there any point where actually you should say small?
You've got to understand your business and you've got to understand your market, right? You must have at least created a loyal customer base before you start thinking about scaling. You've got to make sure that your operational efficiencies can support you scaling. One of the biggest challenges of scaling is to understand that what you could do with 5 shops is very difficult to do with 10, 15, 20, and as you get bigger. So if you do not have the structure in place to make sure that you can support a shop in Sokoto whilst you're based in Lagos, or a shop in Bayelsa whilst your head office is in Lagos, then stop, don't do it, okay? We've learned a lot of lessons. So let me just give you one. There's no business that hasn't succeeded and failed and tried again. In 2007, we had 7 outlets. In 2008, we got funding, and between June 2008 and January 2009, 6 months, we opened up 35 outlets. Okay, cool. Up until 2011, we got up to 65 outlets. By 2013, we were back down to 46 outlets. We'd had to close down a whole number of outlets. Why? Because you can be in Owerri, and all of a sudden, the government has put in a median in the middle of the road. So now customers have to drive 2 kilometers down the road to go and do a U-turn and come to you. That just closed down your business. You can decide, the government can just decide that, oh, we're going to expand the road and that's going to take out half your shop. And what they're going to compensate you with is really nothing that you can do about it. The market dynamic changes. You'll find like a road like Awolowo Road. Awolowo Road used to be very residential. Now Awolowo Road is purely commercial. Okay, so where Monday to Friday were my slow days and weekends my biggest days, now Monday to Fridays are my busiest days and weekends are my slow days. So depending on your business, to making sure that one, you understand your brand and you've got some loyal base customers. 2, your operational efficiencies are tight and you've got the right structure in place. Not every brand and not every business should scale. You've got some small family businesses and we've got some competitors in the market that are doing so well. You'll find out that there's a brand that has 1 shop that is mostly doing the equivalent in revenue of 3 Chicken Republics. Okay? And that's how you need to stay. The way their model and their setup requires them to scale slowly. So they can operate with about 4 or 5 shops, but it's not something that you should be aggressive about.
Now, the red flags per se, if I cannot serve the Whopper in Ajose to be the exact same to be in Ikeja, then I have a problem. I don't scale. I need to be able to replicate the Burger King in its entirety, in its quality at location 2. The moment I have that capability, so if I see that I can't, then that's a red flag. And then in terms of scaling, McDonald's is actually a great example that Susan used in China. Incidentally, I was part of that growth story back in 2016, in my previous life, before Burger King. That's a perfect example, and Burger King did the same in many markets. You are actually able to copy-paste without impacting the quality, purely because of the standardization that you carry. The moment you wilt, you move away from any one of them, you shortchange that. Okay, don't scale, stop. Rethink strategy. And I completely agree with Kofi when, as an organization, you need to have that 20, 30, 50, 100, your support structure has to be ready to be able to scale.